You don't need a perfect plan, just a place to start. If you've graduated recently and you feel burnt out, stuck, lost, confused, broke, all of the above, maybe just one, this video is for you. And we are going to be breaking down everything you want to know about post-graduation life. Hi, my name's Alexis, and you probably haven't seen me on here before. That's because I'm new to YouTube, and I'm starting a channel on life after graduation and the reality of it. I just recently graduated back in May, and I would love to share my journey with you, my struggles, everything that I've been going through, and some advice I have for you if you're in the same situation. I just want you to feel like you're not alone and that we can get through this together. As you can see, I'm also currently traveling. That is because I've decided to move to Colorado after I decided to move to Oregon, and before that, after I decided to move to Washington. And before that, I moved out of Arizona. And that has all happened in the past 2 months. In the mix of all that, I was also in Europe for 3 weeks. I am figuring it out too. I have no idea what I want to do or really what I want to do with the rest of my life. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to kind of break down everything and figure it out with you. Sorry, I had to get up really quick and go grab my swig. If you guys are in Utah, Arizona, I don't know where else they have them. I don't know if it's like a Midwestern thing, but Diet Dr. Pepper with coconut cream, so good. Okay, back to the actual topic. I'm gonna be breaking it down for you guys from the beginning, from what I was dealing with. About 6 months ago, I started applying for jobs when I kind of put my resume together and figured out what it was that I wanted to do. I wanted to go into corporate sales. I didn't care what type of sales, whether that was tech, carpet sales, plumbing products, software, whatever it was. I just kind of wanted to get into a corporate role and find something pretty steady. I applied to, I'm not even kidding, 100 to 150 jobs. Mind you, they all weren't just sales roles. I applied to pharmaceutical sales, medical device, I applied to marketing roles, real estate. I heard back from one company, which was Johnson & Johnson, to do a second round interview, which would have been face-to-face. I had like 2 interviews that were automated through AI, so I would do a recording and send it in answering questions that they had asked me. Other than that, it was nothing. I heard absolutely nothing. Applying to 100 to 150 jobs, you think you would get something with that. There's so many jobs, but they're not hiring. There's so many jobs to apply for, and you hear nothing back. And it's not just you, it's everyone's facing this right now. Where I would get responses like, you're overqualified, you have the right experience, but we have people who have different or better experience, so we're not going to even move forward. Every single one of the jobs I applied for, I made sure that I was qualified for. Some of them I just never heard back from. Some of the jobs would say, sorry, we're no longer hiring at this time. Sorry, we've decided to move forward with other people. Just like the most basic responses, even though you're qualified. So after months of applying to jobs, dealing with that situation of we're not hiring, getting emails, constantly waiting on all of that, I started to go through an identity crisis and think, is this even right for me? Not qualified for marketing positions. Mind you, I've had internships and actual jobs within the marketing field. Am I overqualified for some of these positions I'm applying for? Well, I'm trying to figure it out. My parents just keep saying, just keep applying. The more you apply, the more opportunities will come. And it's like, no offense, but what do you think I've been doing? All I've been doing is applying. And I know a lot of you are dealing with the same thing, that we are held to parents or other people's expectations as well. And it's hard when you can't even get an interview. It wasn't until actually recently, about a week ago, my dad sent me a message, which I'll clip it in here as well. It said basically, we understand the job market's super hard right now. It's not just you, everyone else is dealing with it too. And I'm like, Yeah, I knew that about 2, 3 months ago. They also grew up in a different time frame than we did. And so for them, getting a degree meant getting a job after college. You were pretty much guaranteed a job if you had a degree. And nowadays, you're not. They want 2, 3 years of experience after college, which how do you get experience without experience? And even when you're in college and you're doing internships, sometimes that's not enough. And even during school, if you're doing actual work experience, it's hard doing all your classes, having a job that's giving you real life experience if you can get one, an internship. And some of the kids out there also have to pay their bills in the mix of all of that. And so it becomes very, very challenging. And it's just not the same as it used to be for our parents who hold us to the same expectations when jobs and careers are now changing. I might need to go get another one. It's so good. You're not alone. Even if your parents are holding you to those expectations, your friends, your family, whoever it is, just know that you're not the only one dealing with this. I went through it. I know a ton of my friends went through it. It is hard. So do not beat yourself up too bad when you're not hearing back from a ton of these companies, because it's not you. This thing, I could be wrong. You can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, because I'm not 100% sure. But I saw this thing where they were using your data that you would submit through these applications and use it through their companies for a higher database and saving all your information. I'm not sure if that's the case. Everyone has my information now. So I know I kind of already briefly touched on this topic, but financially, after college and even during college, it can be very challenging. Obviously, during college, there's a lot of kids who are financially on their own, paying for schools, having to take out loans, paying for rent, groceries, all the above. I'm giving you a round of applause because I don't know how you do it. That is hard work, especially when you're having to do school on top of that. I was fortunate enough, my parents did help me pay for college. And I had talked to a lot of my friends who were in the same situation, and we were talking about it a year and a half ago when we were going into our senior year. How am I supposed to learn how to save money? Rent? What do you mean I have to pay $850 for rent this month? Having to learn how to budget and save your money can become very challenging for people. Again, you're not alone in that if that's you. I am having to now figure that out as well. Obviously, throughout the past couple of years, I've been able to save up a ton of money. So like now, I feel like I have a little bit of a cushion to pay the $850 in rent. But anyway, the whole point of this video, I decided to take control of my situation because I wasn't hearing back from jobs, I wasn't getting interviews, I had no bites, and completely stopped applying for about a month and a half. I stopped because I was going to Europe, and I was in Europe for 3 weeks. I came back and I still wasn't applying. I got back from Europe. I decided I was going to move to Oregon, go get a serving job, and start running around the mountains and hiking because I needed a break. I was burnt out. I was done. Now I have decided to move to Colorado. I'm going to go explore like new hobbies, whether that's going and playing pickleball. I've gotten into pickleball recently. I'm not as good as the 6-year-old guys who I go out there and play with sometimes, but I'm pretty good. Hiking, being outside a ton, and then on top of that, I'm gonna get a serving job and serve while I figure it out. I have to remind myself, I'm 22 years old. 22. We have this expectation that after college, we have to have everything figured out, and that's not the case. You don't have to have everything figured out. This is the time to take risks. You just graduated college. If you're not married, you don't have kids, you're not tied to a house, you haven't bought into a lease, you have your car and you have your stuff. Put your stuff in your car and drive it where you want to go. Take a risk, move to a new city, take the job that you weren't thinking about taking, travel, go do the things that you want to do and really find your passion, because now is the time to do that. Right after college and you're stuck and nothing's biting, don't be stressed out about that. Take that time with a grain of salt and, say, whatever, I'm gonna go do something different. And who knows, maybe you move to a new city, you meet some connections, and you get into doing something that you wouldn't have otherwise done had you had been stressed the whole time, focused on this is exactly what I'm going to do, and not look at other opportunities. When everyone's like, keep an open mind, you never know where you're going to end up, and I'm so set on, I need to have this job, I need to work with this company, I need to go into this field, versus I'm gonna have an open mind. If I go into marketing, I go into marketing. If I go into sales, I'm going to sales. Going out to Colorado, my biggest thing I'm looking at getting into is entrepreneurship. I don't want to work for corporate anymore. I'm done dealing with that industry and trying to apply and get in. And I have my whole life that if I want to stress and try and do that, I can. I know that that's not for everyone and that some people do want to go to corporate. Do it. I think that's a great option, but to keep an open mind when you are doing things and make sure you're looking at all your options. Entrepreneurship has always been in the back of my head, but it was never something I would want to pursue because there's risks with entrepreneurship. It's not a stable income or a steady income. When you're working for corporate and you start working, the more you work, the better you do, your pay is going to go up like this. Whereas like entrepreneurship, if I were to start a coffee shop, for instance, it would be like this. It may go down if I'm having to put money into the business, but then there's all of a sudden when it takes off and it just goes up. It's one of those things that I'm wanting to try and do and willing to take the risk right now and try. But the whole point of that was just saying, I'm just trying to get out there, find new things that are interesting to me, try and get into a new career and just figure out what's fun and what I enjoy and make money trying to do the things that I enjoy. If everything fails, at least I tried. At least I got out there and I tried. I would be so upset with myself if I got into a job that I'm like, it's okay, it's not my favorite, and 5 years down the line I'm looking back being like, what if? Versus if I failed and I tried and nothing worked and I went into corporate, I'd be like, well, I tried. I wasn't good at it and it didn't work, but you know what? I tried and I gave it my best. And what if it does work? That what if it doesn't, but what if it does? That's what's holding me there and keeping me interested in trying something new. I know I already mentioned this, but I get that it's not for everyone, and that's 100% okay. It doesn't need to be for you. My point is just find your path, and everyone's path is different. You don't have to have the same path as someone else, and just because they graduated and they had a job lined up right after college and they're going and working with this company, that you have to do that and that you have to have everything figured out right now. And just because you don't have it all figured out doesn't mean you're behind. It just means you're still figuring it out. There's people who are going to college in their 30s and 40s because it's never too late to go to college, ever. They're just going and learning something new and going into a new career. And you're 22, 23, 24, however old you are, everyone's on their own journey and their own path, and it's okay to take a step back and really evaluate what you want to do with your life and take time to do that. It's your life and you should live it the way you want to live. Now, I know that was a lot of talking. I know that was kind of a little bit all over the place. I'm still learning how to condense my thoughts. That is something I need to work on a little bit more. This topic just gets me super excited because I'm also dealing with these struggles the same way all of you are. If you're going through something similar, if you know someone who's going through something similar, please, I would love to hear if you guys have questions, comments, or if you guys have anything you want me to talk about more on this topic or a different topic. I would love to keep discussing it, and I would love to talk about other things too if you guys want to hear about other things. Also, like, what's worked for you guys, what hasn't worked for you guys. I'm also, like I said, going through this too, and I would love some advice. I would love feedback from you guys. Anyway, if you guys found this helpful, useful at all, please check out the rest of my channel. I know I'm just getting started, but I'm going to be sharing a ton of stuff on here about life after graduation, real life advice, healthy habits, staying active. I'm just getting started on here, like I said, and I would love to have you here for this journey with me. And again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and we will chat soon.